In Cuba on Saturday. He'll spend 3 days there before heading to Washington, D.C. His image has been plastered all over Havana. Tonight, he will appear on Cuban television to address the people about his upcoming visit. U.S. and Cuban leaders have praised Francis for helping improve relations between the two nations.
And speaking of the Pope, new at 6, you can just imagine the scene at St. Pat's. A huge years-long remodeling project, not finished, when suddenly the Pope says he's coming to visit.
And just like that, deadline moved up. St. Pat's set to be finished by December, now has to be finished by next week.
Can you stand the pressure? Here's Kimberly Richardson.
We're going to be perfectly ready by September 24th, and I'm very happy with the way things are.
That's because a small army of workers has been busy around the clock here inside St. Patrick's Cathedral.
It's looking good.
Determined to meet a very important deadline, the arrival of Pope Francis.
By the Holy Father's visit, we'll be able to hear them in all their glory.
Monsignor Robert Ritchie is talking about all of the nearly 9,000 pipes which make up the great organ. Each has been removed, cleaned, and replaced. It's all part of a roughly $177 million renovation, an extensive sprucing up of this historic landmark. We dropped by in early August.
So we replaced all of the mortar from the top of the steeples, 330 feet above Fifth Avenue, all the way down to the ground.
This project, the most ambitious ever, well, most of the work was slated to wrap up in December, but once Pope Francis confirmed he'd be stopping by in September, well, things kicked into high gear, from painting to polishing, restoring and replacing the countless rows of pews and kneelers.
I knew what was underneath everything, but I was happy to see when we finally got it cleaned and painted and how bright everything is and how full of life the whole building is.
Complete with hidden treasures. Workers found this bottle of champagne in a box tucked away in the ceiling. Written on it, the names of the workers from the early 70s who, like these men, consider it a privilege to be here. Monsignor Ritchie tells me the tradition will continue.
And we're putting in a bottle of brandy with it instead of champagne, because the brandy won't go bad.
Kimberly Richardson, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Gotta love that.
We're going to have extended coverage leading up to and during the Pope's visit next week. At ABC 7 NY, we have an entire section with a more detailed schedule of what the Pope has in mind, what he's going to do, and what you need to know about the traffic and the mass transit changes in and around our area.
Just love they found that champagne. And just ahead, a new report card on the best and worst subway lines in New York City.
And speaking of grades, we've had straight A weather for several days. All good things must come to an end. How low will temperatures go? We go over exactly what the forecast coming up.
World News Tonight, minutes away here in New York. Donald Trump set to speak, and who was the real winner last night? The deadly earthquake and tsunami advisories triggered for the American coastline, and one of the biggest settlements ever for an American automaker. Coming up after Eyewitness News.
Jeopardy clues start here. This is the writer's room. This is Jeopardy!
Tonight at 7, right here on ABC 7.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Raymore and Flanagan. For the closest location, please visit RaymooreFlanagan.com.
What do you think?
When I first sit in the seat, it makes me think of a BMW.
I feel like I'm in a Lexus. You would think that this was a brand new Audi. It's like a luxury car.
This is Chevy?
I have a new appreciation for Chevy.
This thing feels pretty boss.
It looks kind of dope.
That's pretty cool.
This is the jam.
Find your tag. Get $3,500 total cash allowance on select Equinox vehicles in stock, or current qualified competitive lessees can get this Chevy Equinox LT for around $189 a month. Visit your local Chevy dealer.
I'm Sigourney Weaver, and New York is my home. There's no place like it in the world. Like our state parks. The Adirondacks are my favorite. For hiking, fishing, camping, you name it. Niagara Falls is the oldest state park, but visiting it never gets old. The readers of a national newspaper voted Letchworth the #1 state park in America. Watkins Glen, #3. New York state parks are a gift. Plan your vacation at iloveny.com. There's something for everyone.